one of the easiest ways to get anything you want in life is what I like to call the feel, felt, found framework. Whether you want a boatload of cash, you want a beautiful family, or you just want better relationships, this framework will change your life. Let's dive into it. I had a conversation with a good friend of mine who is a great public speaker, youngest public speaker ever to be a DTM in Toastmasters. And what he taught me was this framework that is feel, felt, found. This applies to sales, relationships, pretty much any conversation you will ever have in your life. This will apply. Instead of saying, and I actually made a LinkedIn post on this yesterday. I'm a real estate investor. So let's say I'm talking with a property seller who is hesitant, and they're saying, I need to make repairs before selling. Now, the old me might have bluntly disagreed. It might have said, oh, come on, you idiot. You don't need to make repairs. You need to learn how to sell a house is what you need to do. But here's where the magic of empathy comes in. Using the feel, felt, frown framework, what you're going to say instead is, I understand where you're coming from. Because it's about acknowledging their perspective. Because most people don't know that they can sell a house off market. As a real estate investor, I do this every single day. But as a homeowner, you might only do this 3 or 4, even less times in your entire life. So they don't know that. And what seems obvious to you might not be obvious to them. So emphasize and be empathetic and acknowledge their perspective. I understand where you're coming from, Mr. Seller. I actually I remember feeling the same way. Here is where you would share a relatable experience where you're connecting on a human level, not just a transaction or trying to take advantage or whatever, some of these people who don't actually know sales do. Share a relatable experience connecting on a human level. So then after you share that, and I'll give you guys an exact example with a document in the description and everything. But then you're going to move on to found. I remember feeling the same way. Then I found that I could help them. This is where I offer a solution. In other words, a sale, or what will be a sale, that benefits both parties. I get paid, they get their problem solved. Win-win. This approach turns a potential conflict where they just aren't going to like you, and therefore they're not going to buy from you, because people do business with those that they know, like, and trust. So instead of it being a potential conflict, it turns into a win-win scenario. It's not just about agreeing or disagreeing. It's about understanding, connecting, and then guiding. If you let them understand that you understand them, they will be much more open to connecting and actually being transparent with you. Because if someone is just, oh no, you're saying, oh yeah, you're an idiot. Of course you can sell your house without making repairs, or go put $100,000 into that house, you idiot. Like, who do you think they're going to trust more? The person who's walking them through the feel, felt, frown framework, or the person who's telling them off? It's pretty clear. But again, this can be real estate. This can be business. This can be sales. This can be getting a wife. This can be how you talk to your wife. Feel, felt, found, right? That's gonna boost your relationship 10x. I guarantee it. But if you are an investor, and whether you're a seasoned or investor or you're just starting out, remember this: empathy can be your greatest asset. The next time you face an objection, don't shy away. Embrace the feel, felt, found method and framework. It could be the key to not just closing more deals, but also building lasting relationships. And if you're in this, not just to do 1 or 2 deals, you're in this not just to do it for 2 months and quit. You're in this for the long haul. You're in this to build an actual business. Then what you should value more than closing more deals is building lasting relationships. Now, here is exactly how I would actually put this into words. Let's say, again, a seller is telling me, hey, I need to make repairs before selling. Okay, great. Well, Mr. Seller, I understand where you're coming from. Oftentimes it can be difficult to sell a home without it being in great condition. I remember feeling the same way as I saw friends and family members struggle to sell houses that weren't in great condition. Then I found that I could help them and get a win by myself by buying the properties from them, no repairs, no agent fees, and even covering their closing costs. Now, I can't guarantee it, but if we were able to do the same for your house, is that something that you'd be opposed to? And then so one thing I like to do when I'm actually on a call is I like to be very, very short with how I'm talking, just because you want them to do 80% of the talking, 70% of the talking. So in this case, because it's a decent bit of talking, they might be like, oh, so you can buy my house without me making repairs? And then I say, yeah, so what we do is we actually buy houses, we fix them up, and then we will put them on the open market, flip them. You don't have to worry about, repairs. You don't have to worry about closing costs, and you don't have to worry about agent fees, because we're not taking any commissions from you. So is that something that you'd be opposed to? And I love that framework. Is that something you would be opposed to? Not is that something you'd be interested in? Because if you say, is that something you'd be interested in? It'd be like, maybe. I don't know. It depends on the offer. But if they're not opposed to it, I mean, not many people are going to be opposed to selling their house that they don't have the money to make repairs, or they don't have the time, or they just don't have the will. It's great framework. This will make you 10x the amount of money you're making. This will 10x your relationships. This will create better relationships with your wife, your husband, your children, your mom, your dad, whoever. This relationship will change your life. This framework, not this relationship, this framework will change your life.